What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Project Runway Season 19, Episode 12. So we are down to the final 5. We have 5 designers left, you guys, and this week's challenge was a little different. This week's challenge, the producer comes over to the final 5 and tells them they need to get across the street. Christian's working, and he wants them to come over to this warehouse that's across the street. So they get across the street, they walk in, and Christian is in the middle of a photo shoot with Coco Roche, who is this huge supermodel, and everybody is immediately in awe. Like, they are immediately like starstruck, like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And they are in awe of her. And what we find out is that this week's challenge is they have to create an editorial look, and then they are going to proceed to do an editorial photo shoot with Coco Roche, right? She's going to be the model for all of them. Now, the twist is there is no runway show. The only the judges, what we found out is that the judges were a part of the photo shoot. They were in the back judging, watching, seeing what was going on. And I like this challenge. This is a little bit different. This isn't one of their normal challenges, and I like it because like they said, in this game, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to do photo shoots. You're going to have to figure out angles and looks, and when, what an editorial look is versus a cover shoot versus, whatever, edit a picture for Vogue versus a picture for, Vibe. I know Vibe don't exist anymore, but work with me. So, I thought this was a really good challenge. So the designers had $800 each, and it was a 2-day challenge. They also got to use a prop. They were going to choose. They was going to choose a prop. And because Chastity won last week's challenge, she got to pick her prop first. So Chastity picked a crate. Now, like a pallet. Now, I understood her reasoning. She said because, you could stand on it, you could sit on it, it could be manipulated. But there was this clock that I liked. It was like this one of these big, huge clocks that I thought was a really cute prop. But anyway, Bones chose like these balls that twirl. Something he know how to use. He said he's certified to use them with fire. And they even had a video of him twisting the balls with the fire, child. Hold on. Let me get my list, child. Let me get my list. Chantal actually picked the last because it went Chastity picked, and then she got to pick the person who could go next. So then it was Bones, and then I think Bones picked not Coral but Christine, and Christine picked. Christine didn't pick the fan. Coral picked the fan. What did Christine pick? Oh, Christine picked like this, like a laundry, like one of those big industrial laundry containers, but it was blue. That's important later on. And then Chantal was like, I knew they were going to pick me last. And she was like, I was going to pick the fan. Thanks, guys. And you could tell that they definitely see Chantal as the threat and as somebody that, I'm not going to say they sabotaged her because it wasn't that serious. They didn't sabotage the woman. But they definitely didn't make it easier for her by, choosing her last. But she chose a ladder. So we get to mood, and it's down to 5 of them now. So Christian can actually spend a little bit more time on everybody. And, again, I think Christian gives great advice and great feedback. And he's just going person to person, and he sees Chastity is using red, and he was like, oh, you're using red too? She said, who else is using red? And she said, he was like, Chantal is using red. And she said, well, this will be my first time using red. Can she say the same? And I was like, ooh, Chastity getting a little catty. Coral chose a yellow material, which of course, she's going to do her little macrame stitching to it. Bones chose like this blue fur situation, which I love blue. Blue is my favorite color. So I was here for the blue. But you know, Bones always got to be extra. He also chose denim, and he wants to create some sort of like cocoon type situation. Child, y'all know Bones is always extra. Oh, Chastity actually had red and black, and then Christine chose this blue and green type get up situation. It was interesting. It was very interesting. But I like the color palette. I wasn't crazy about the outfit. So anyway, so as we're going through the workroom, everybody's coming up with the story and what the inspiration is. And so Christine's inspiration was that freedom and passion. She had like that yellow. I'm sorry, that was coral. She had like this yellow, and again, it was like that freedom. And when she got her critique, her first critique was really about, you know, Christian was letting her know, listen, you know, it's looking very, you know, like, you know, very basic dress, you know, dressmaker type dress. And she got upset, but I think it was distressed. I don't think Christian was being mean about it. But just letting her know, you need to add a little flair, add a little something to the dress. Give me some, you know, give me something, you know. But as he went around the room, Chastity's story was that Coco reminds her of, you know, that villain, like in the Disney movies, villain, like she's more villain than she is, you know, princess. And Coco actually liked it. When she came in for her fitting, she was actually here for the outfit and here for well, she was here for the explanation. She wasn't much of an outfit when she first got there, child. But the other looks were very the story was, you know, was very interesting. That went around with those looks. So anyway, let's get to these looks, child. Let's get to these looks. So they had the photo shoot, and like I said, the judges were in the back of the room while the designers were sort of being their creative director for the photo shoot. Now, first we had, that's beautiful, right? That was Chantal. For whatever reason, she went first. I guess they went in the reverse order. I don't know. But you see, she had her ladder. She was posing, Coco. She was fun. She was easy. You know, she knew exactly what she wanted. She knew how to position her. She was very specific, but not in an overbearing or rude way. And I think that picture is stunning. It's absolutely stunning. This challenge reminded me of America's Top Model because of the pictures, and they had to pick the right picture, and it had to be editorial and all of that with the posing and everything. It was reminded me very, very much of America's Next Top Model. Next, we have Coral. Again, gorgeous picture. Gorgeous picture, right? And you see, again, the yellow. She added a lot of that flair to the back. Of course, we know she had her trademark macrame to the sides of it. And this was a gorgeous. That yellow was a pop, a good sunshine. And those were actually the two top pictures. Those first two pictures were the two top pictures. This is Chastity. Now, I like the dress on Chastity. I like the dress. I didn't think that her pictures were necessarily exceptional. I mean, especially after you look at these first two. I mean, these two, and then you get here, and again, y'all know Chastity, my girl, honey. But I was like, oh, she might be in a little bit of trouble. And then the picture she chose, this wasn't the one she chose, but the picture she chose didn't show, you know, villain. Like it didn't give me villain. So I think that didn't help either. Was the picture she chose wasn't very villain-like. Then we ended up with Bones, and you see, you know, she's using the prop with the flare, you know, the little ball right there. And it was like a cocoon. It was very tight. You know, Bones has all of these great ideas, but his problem is editing down and understanding that You don't have to use every idea every time with every look. You know, Bones has a great eye. He's really talented and I like him. But I think that's where Bones is going to have to really, really focus, is understanding that every idea doesn't have to be used, right? But that blue is gorgeous. I loved that blue. And Christine, again, I love the contrast of the colors, that blue with that green. But you see her prop is blue and it just blends in. You know, she chose a blue for her prop and then a blue for her color, and it just blended in. So those were the looks. Now, again, I told you here our top. The top is Chantal and Coral, right? Ultimately, Chantal wins. She won this week. That is it. And the two of them are in for the final four. So the bottom two was Chastity, Bones, and Christine. Now, I think the tiebreaker came down to the critique that Coco Rocha gave to the designers about how the photo shoot went. And the worst critique really went to Bones, because Bones was very overbearing. He was very much stepping on everybody's foot at the photo shoot, with the director, with the photographer, with everybody. And she said, you know, if this had been a regular photo shoot, the photographer would have got rid of you. The photographer would have put you out the room because you were just doing way too much. And, you know, Bones was like, well, you know, I was a photographer's assistant, and, you know, you know, and she said, see, that's what it is. Like, I understand now why you were acting the way you were acting. But I think the combination of her critique of Bones and the fact that we keep seeing the same thing over and over again, where he doesn't necessarily always know how to edit himself down. But honestly, Bones did really well. He stayed in the competition a really, really long time. Like, after that first week, with the way him and Christian butted heads, baby, I wasn't sure how long he was gonna be here, okay? But Bones did ultimately go home. Now, Chastity is gonna have to be careful, because one of the critiques of Chastity this episode was that she goes from hot to cold. Last week she won, this week she was on the bottom. Like, there's really no in between. And that is the one thing that they're really, really, really concerned about with Chastity. So, baby, you know, I love you, girl. I'm gonna need you to make it to that top 3. I'm gonna need you to make it to Fashion Week, honey. I suspected, I think I know who's gonna win, but I'm gonna leave that to myself. But if y'all been paying attention, y'all know who I think gonna win too. We saw that Chantal, we know that earlier in the season we found out that her son has a speech delay, and we saw her talking to her son. And he actually said mama. And it was the first time he said mama. And it was so beautiful, the fact that he actually said it and she was able to hear it. It was the first time he said it. And you could just see it all over her face. You could see how happy she was and just how elated she was by it. And so that was so sweet. I thought that was really, really sweet. And we found out that her sister and her brother-in-law have actually come down to help her husband take care of her son, because he had to go back to work. He can't stay at home all day. And so it is definitely a family affair. It is definitely a village down there raising her child. And I was here for it. It was so beautiful. It was, I mean, it almost had me in tears over here when he finally said it. I mean, she was just like, oh my God, this is the best gift in the world. Thank you, Lord. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So it was great, y'all. So that was sweet. But that's what it is. So we have our final 4. And it is an all-woman final. No matter who goes home next week, it's going to be an all-woman final, you guys. So we'll see how it works out. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.